This comes from Michael Powell. Uh, a Ron Holland question. How much time do you think Holland will get? Do you see him spending any time in the G League?
Um, I don't really know. I wouldn't be opposed to him spending time in the G League because I think moving the team downtown with you is what that should be used for. Not like, send him there for weeks at a time, but it's like I think he could play with the G League team and also be with the Pistons. Um that said, I don't know because it does depend on the starting lineup. Because if Asar is not starting, I don't see a route, and I know JB's not going to run all bench lineups, but there's going to be, 2, 3, 4 bench guys on the floor at the same time. I don't know where you can split the minutes there if Asar is not starting. I don't think you can play them together right away. I think there's definitely like long-term vision is they could play together. But right now, I don't really know. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Holland starts playing like less than 10 minutes a game, in all honesty. That obviously could jump up real quick as the season goes on. I mean, Herb Jones, who, the Langdon front office drafted in New Orleans second round pick, he played, I think it was 30 plus minutes his rookie season. So there's definitely a route for Ron to get meaningful minutes. Just as the roster is constructed right now, I don't know where that's going to be. But I do think they should utilize the G League team with him, especially if he's not playing more than 10 minutes a night.
So what I'll say is their G League team took a big hit. They lost guys like Stanley Amude. They lost guys like Malcolm Cazalan. They lost a lot of guys. The thing with if Ron does play in the G League, his role would probably be number one option.
Right.
Which I think there's positives and negatives with that. I think the negatives were you don't want to get him those first option reps, getting used to that, playing against lesser competition in the G League and coming into the NBA, because that could kind of be like a growth spurt in his development too.
Yeah.
And I kind of made this point earlier throughout the week. I think he would develop more in Pistons practices versus going down into the G League, because nothing against the G League. It's not the NBA. It's really not.
And he already played there. He already, he already did.
I actually had him as a backup power forward in my depth chart. I had him getting backup power forward minutes, which I could be completely wrong. I do think there is minutes for him, but I think they're really going to ease him into it. I don't think he's going to come out the gate like Asar did last year, where that he had to start because there was no defenders out there. I think there's a case for Ron to play a good maybe 10 minutes and kind of ease it throughout the season as he gets more comfortable.
I think it increases throughout the year no matter where he starts off minutes wise.
Yeah, I really don't think there's a rush to really put him out there unless the coaching staff and the organization feels like he's ready for rotational minutes. But I'd find it really hard to believe that they're going to send him down to the Motor City Cruise when the Motor City Cruise roster is just completely depleted and they really haven't made any moves, or the only two-way guys that they have are Tosan Awoma and Donis Jenkins. Like they still have another two-way spot open. I think the Cruise are going to have a down year personally. I don't think they're going to be as good as they've been in previous years, and Ron would probably be that first option. And I kind of that's a whole nother conversation and debate that I really don't want him being like that number one option and getting those first option looks.
That's a fair point,
because that could just be like, because someone had mentioned Amani Bates. Like Amani Bates cooks in the G League because no one's going to be blocking his shot. No one really plays defense in the G League anyways.
Right.
And like he can go in, average 25 points in the G League, come up to the NBA, and then like the stuff that's working in the G League might not work in the NBA. And then you develop bad habits that way.
I think the way that it in my head makes sense to send him to the G League in situations is if he's not getting minutes at the NBA level, send him, for the weekend. like I said, like not like weeks at a time, not even a week at a time. Like he should be spending 90 to 95% of his time with the Pistons. It's just the whole purpose of moving the G League team downtown in such close proximity is if he's not getting game reps with the Pistons, like he should be able to go get reps down the street, you know?
Yeah.
Even though but you're making a good point. Like with like, yeah, they need to find a way to like put him in the position he theoretically would be in with the Pistons, which, like you're saying, might be tough with where they're at.
And like I don't even know. I know Jamel McMillan was the coach last year. I don't know if he's going to continue to be the coach this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if they just Trajan and the Pistons decide that they want to go a different direction, because the Motor City Cruise have been like really quiet in additions of like getting guys. Like they have like Jace Johnson, who was on the summer league team, but I mean like that team got so depleted last year. They were getting guys poached like crazy. I mean, Jonte Porter, shout out, got poached, signed with the Raptors, and then rest was history, man. Because you can't bet on G League games.
Yikes! That's a crazy story.
I know. He was like low. He was probably one of the best centers in the G League. Like he was really trying to get called up.
I mean, when he got to Toronto, everybody was like, "Why did we not do anything with him? Like, why didn't we bring him to Detroit?"
Man, you imagine if he was betting against the Pistons and he got like a
I
two-way.
mean, he would have been joining the rest of the world, but yeah, a little less okay for him to do it.
Man, that would have been wild.